doing a subscriber only space on my other Twitter, and then I was like, you know what? I was telling a story that would be good to tell to more people, and so I was like, fine, I'll go on my private now, and now even more people can hear me talk because they like listening to my voice for some odd reason. Anyway, um, so what I was saying is I was saying the um uh um I was just talking about the Airbnb story. So yeah, you probably heard the Airbnb story that was told on Banter that George and Nick showed. Um, or George and Nick told. So first things first, it was here's the full extent of the story. First things first, we were never planning on staying the whole night. That was the one thing they got. That was like pretty much the biggest thing they got wrong with the whole story. Like we all collectively decided as soon as we got into the Airbnb, we weren't going to stay there that night. um and we were like, okay, we're gonna leave, we're just gonna figure out where we're going first. So that adds context. If we were never planning on sleeping there, like that would be ridiculous. No matter, like, they told us to get out of the house, like, even if we did have a right to stay there, that would just be stupid. Like there's someone that knows the house and like the house code and whatever could come and show up, and like even if they weren't gonna like kill us or something, that's just they could just like they could just show up, and that could turn into something or whatever. So it wasn't like that's the first, that's like the biggest detail that they got wrong. Like we all collectively agreed we're leaving here, we just need to find a place to go. But it was 2 a.m, so we were like trying to figure out where to go. It's the middle of the night and we're like getting kicked out of this Airbnb, and we're like, where do we go? Like we need to get a hotel, but there was like not there was hotels, we wanted to like stay together, but there was no hotels with like conjoined rooms or anything. So we were working out like what we were going to do. Airbnb support was being like unresponsive. Well, they were being responsive at first, and then they were like telling us they're going to book us another place, and then they never booked us another place at first. So it became like a thing, I guess. And so like we were just like waiting for it, and so I was like, they were like trying to kick us out, and I was like, okay, well, we're not gonna leave until, I wasn't telling them this, but I was like, it was George and Nick, I was like, well, we should just find out where we're going, and then as soon as we know where we're going, we'll just leave. And so anyway, I'm gonna read the messages. I was very, very like trolly and like passive aggressive to this person, and they were very like whatever back at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna read the messages bar for bar, bar for bar. Um, so they like sent another property. After basically they already refunded us. Like, I reached out to Airbnb. We didn't know they were going to refund it. I didn't even ask for a refund. I literally just sent in a request. I just sent in like a complaint and said like, hey, here's pictures of the Airbnb. It doesn't look like how it looks on the site. Like, I need help. And then instantly they refunded it, like instantly. And so it was like the middle of the night and we got refunded. And then I started getting a message from the owner of the Airbnb saying like, hey, you refunded the thing. What happened? And I was like, well, I didn't. It was like Airbnb support. I don't know what's happening. Um, but anyway, they sent a link and I said, we're looking for somewhere more modern. And then they replied, by the way, did you have any issues with the check-in today, or was it just the carpet and armchair old stains? And I replied, this place looked much cleaner and more modern and less old than it was. And they replied, did you check the descriptions and photos before you booked? It's all mentioned there. And I said, yes, obviously, the stains and grossness wasn't apparent. They replied, uh, it's an old house. It's mentioned, and it's also mentioned that there's carpets all over. I said, it's also mentioned to take your shoes off to avoid ruining the nice carpet, which is covered in stains. Haha. And then they replied, okay, since you're in a mood for trash on the place, we're not going to continue this talk. This was at 3:16 a.m. And then at 3:23 a.m., they said, are you guys checked out already? And I replied, I said, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be rude. Exclamation point. It just didn't meet our expectations. We're waiting on Airbnb support. Um, uh, and they said, and at this point, Airbnb told us, hey, you guys can stay the night. We'll get you a place tomorrow morning. And me and Nick and George were like, no, like we'll just go to a hotel or something. It's like we're like actively looking for like a hotel to go to in the area, like while these messages are taking place. They said, as far as I know, you guys asked to check in early today, and we allowed it. So technically, it's been a day now. which is just like that's just like not how time works. That doesn't even make sense. Like we asked for early check-in to drop off our bags because like George and Nick flew in that day, and like I was already in a different Airbnb because I was there before them, and so like they they like we asked for early check-in. They like allowed us to check in at like 2 hours earlier or whatever, and then Airbnb because they only refunded everything but one day or whatever. We got like a full refund except for the one day, um, or whatever. Then like they were saying, well, it's already been a day, so because you checked in early, so you have to leave. It's like what doesn't that does not make any sense. Anyway, but I replied, I said, I'm just waiting to hear from Airbnb support, and then we'll be out of your hair. Thumbs up. Although we checked in at around 1, and it definitely hasn't been a day, with like a face that like a confused face. It's like that is like that message. Okay, it's like barely passive aggressive. This word for word. Just waiting to hear from Airbnb support, and then we will be out of your hair. Thumbs up. Although we checked in at around 1, and it definitely hasn't been a day, with like a little confused like eyebrow raise or something. Like, anyway, it's like passive. It's like so smally passively aggressive. But they replied, "You need to leave now." Um, and then I replied, "We have the place booked contractually through Airbnb through tonight, according to support. Although we do plan on leaving after Airbnb sorts it out, and they said 15 minutes or so last time they called. Thank you." Smiley face. It's like at this point, Airbnb is telling us we're sorting it out for you. You can stay the night, and we were telling Airbnb support, no, we're going to leave. We're going to get to a hotel or something. But Airbnb is trying to get us like a discount, and so we're still like working this out. And I was like, look, we're going to leave as soon as we work it out Airbnb support. They said 15 minutes. To me, very reasonable, right? Um, they replied, "This has nothing to do with Airbnb now. It took you a few good hours to put your complaint about the carpets, from 1 p.m. till almost midnight." I replied, "I actually didn't get there. I didn't get there until almost midnight after working all day, and just had my friends drop off my stuff. They also voiced their concerns about the mustiness of the property, but I said I'd wait to see it for myself. I appreciate the help. Working with Airbnb now." So that was very passive aggressive, but it was funny, and it pissed me off that they're like, it took you a good few hours to put the complaint. It was like, yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't see them until fucking midnight. Congrats, and I didn't even mean to. They like were kicking us out in the middle of the night. Anyway, they replied, it's been over 2 hours since your reservation canceled, which is probably true. It's probably actually maybe it wasn't 2 hours. It's probably close to it though. Because like we had literally had just gotten there, and then the reservation we like Airbnb Sport, and then it got canceled. And we were like trying to work it out. Um, um, on my way to sleep, I just checked the phone and found the new support message. I'm asking you to check out now, please, or I'll have to send someone over. I don't have any security now since there's no payment / records of you leaving. You're a group of people. You're a group of people staying at a property without any permission right now. Airbnb are no longer a part of this. Be out in the next 10 minutes. And then at this point, I think we were. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, at this point we weren't out yet. But we left like 5 minutes after this. But I said we're currently waiting on Airbnb support, and we're collecting our things as well. We probably won't be out in 10 minutes, but we'll be out as soon as we can. Um, so like that again, that's fairly reasonable. Like obviously that's gonna make them upset regardless because like they're saying get out now, and I'm saying well we're collecting our things, we'll be out like soon. But then it's not it's not too unreasonable. Um, and they said you need to leave now! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Um, and then I said, I'm currently on the phone with support, and they said they would reach out to you. And that was all I said. And they did. Because I was on the phone with support, and I was like, we're literally getting kicked out. Like they're kicking us out. I was like, are you getting us? Because they were trying to get us a discount on a new Airbnb, and we have to like book the Airbnb before we would go there. And so I was like, they're literally like telling us to leave now. Are you giving us the thing or not? And then they said, oh, we'll reach out to the person to give you more time. And I was like, okay, cool, do that. That's fine. But anyway, so then we left, and they didn't reply to my message that said after support, because I think support did reach out to them and told them like, hey, chill, and they didn't reply. But then we left, and this is after we had already left, so we're we're no longer in the property at this point. And I was like, fuck this person. They tried like imagine we okay, this is the thing. Imagine we weren't who we were. Like imagine we were not like well off. We didn't have like the money to be able to like go book a hotel at the last minute. Like and we weren't like connected, whatever. Like we would have been fucked. Like we were getting kicked out of the Airbnb at 2 a.m. in the morning with nowhere to go in a city we did not live in. It had like only been to once or twice. That we didn't know like we wouldn't know where to go. Like we would if this would have been so fucked. If it wasn't like uh if it wasn't like us, it would have been so fucked. But anyway, so I was like, fuck this person. We're gonna troll them because we're at this point we're like in an Uber to the hotel. And so I messaged them. I say, the support said we could stay the night, but they booked a new place for us. It's a bit late, so we're working it all out. Um, and they said, you're not allowed to stay there. Please leave. I called the police. You need to leave the property. Um, uh, and then I replied, I said, I talked to the police. They reviewed the Airbnb policy and they said we could stay the night, but we have another place. We'll head too soon. Thanks for being an understanding host. Again, we're not in the Airbnb. We've left the Airbnb. They don't know that, but we've left the Airbnb. They replied, they said, the police are on their way and have the house code. You have no proof of payment for your stay, and Airbnb has not reached out to confirm what you're saying. You're occupying property without permission. Leave now. At this point, I'm not an understanding host. Unfortunately for me, it's the first time I'm dealing with such a rude guest behavior and one-sided communication. Which doesn't make sense, but I can see you guys didn't move out yet, and you've been keeping me waiting for long hours. Really sorry you had issues, but you need to find solutions. And then I replied and said, we've never been trying to be rude. Unfortunately, the property didn't work out. The cops came to the door and we spoke with them, and we agreed that we will leave at 8 a.m. when our new Airbnb is available. They checked for damage and there's nothing other than the previous stains that they noted. They checked the house and made sure that there was no one there but us. Hopefully this is a fair resolution. Going to try and get some shut-eye. They replied, I have I have cameras outside. The last report is from 11 p.m. The police called me to ask for a code a few minutes ago. It's not a matter of the house condition right now. If you noticed my first message to you, I offered you different property to move to. You're doing what you want inside my property. No matter how you flip it, you're trespassing. Which, first of all, they didn't even offer. They offered like us to pay for another place, and I was like, well, we're not paying for another place. Airbnb's moving us. But anyway, uh, then I replied and said. Airbnb said that it's okay for us to stay tonight, so no one's trespassing. We're just sleeping in the beds. And that's the end. That's the end of the saga. But then I left a bad review on them, and then they messaged me again after like this was like a week later or something, and they said, "Hey, I see you posted a review. To be really honest, I do not think we should review each other at all, since you were not really even a guest of mine. Your reservation was canceled. They already Airbnb already apologized and confirmed it was a mistake and asked me to claim the night you stayed from you and to put a request from the app. Um, I wasn't doing it so far. Our reviews and the property high score is more important to me at this point. I've replaced the armchairs and the cleaning team did their best to remove what can be removed from the stains. Based on the very high score and the great reviews we have until now, it wasn't a serious issue as you made it for any of the other guests. You have an option to ask Airbnb to remove your review. I think it's only fair for you to do so since you weren't really a guest." It's like, how are we not a guest? Like, obviously, your review is valid. But anyway, let me go to theirs. I want to read what they put on my thing on my profile. I want to find their review, show the reviews. They said, blank, that Clay is a disrespectful, rude guest that will do whatever he wants, regardless of any rules or policies. He checked into my property earlier than check-in time, waited 10 hours to call Airbnb so it was midnight, and complained about stains on the carpet. And then in parentheses, no guest ever complains about cleaning or stains. Like, what? Like, what do you mean no guest ever complains? Like, okay, congrats. That's stupid. The place was like a mess, and obviously, and they were like edited out of the photos. Anyway, um, they then decided to they got their reservation canceled and refunded. Then decided to stay and invited even more friends to stay the night. Like, what? That's not. We didn't invite any more friends, and that's not even what happened. Um, uh, he refused to leave even when police arrived. That's the impression we gave them, but we did leave. Um, he caused us to spend $250 for cleaning the second time because he used all the beds and kitchen and messed up the house that night. Like, what? That's just bullshit. We didn't even do anything. We didn't even unpack our things, and neither do we. We didn't get in any of the beds. They were nasty. You think we were gonna get in those dumbass beds? Fuck you, you piece of shit. They were nasty. We didn't get in your beds. We didn't cause any cleaning. You know what? You probably needed $1,000 of cleaning. That place was fucking trash. You should spend more. $250. That's nothing. Okay, clean your shit. Get the nasty stains, fix it up. There was like boogers in all the fucking outlets. Like, clean your shit. You know what? If we caused you to spend $250, good. Like, that's good. We didn't do anything. We like sat down on the couches and waited for 3 hours on a fucking Airbnb sport. Anyway, sorry, I'm just getting me heated. So they just lied. Their full complaint is not true, and we've never gotten a bad review for this property. We have a very high score that's now damaged. I've never experienced such guest behavior, so I definitely do not recommend Clay as a guest. Anyway, but yeah, that's the full Airbnb story. So there you go. There you have it. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that is what happened. So um, it was like it's so funny. Like this like I was like me and George were like dying of laughter because like yeah like George took a photo as well. So like like George told me before I showed up. He's like, yeah, the place is shit, and I was like, it's not. Like I've shown you guys so we've all seen the pictures. Like it's good. And he's like, trust me, it's not. I show up, like, okay, honestly, guys, it wasn't that like I'm over it was not that bad. The problem was it was not what we expected. Like the pictures were just photoshopped. Like the pictures were photoshopped, like the wall colors, the like literally they like didn't show things. It's like we like especially if we're gonna stay there for like 3 weeks. We're saying one, we prefer like more modern looking places, and that place looked very modern before we went, and it wasn't modern. Two, we don't want to stay like there was like just stains on the carpet, stains on the couches, stains on all the like there were stains everywhere. Which is like okay, I understand probably a lot of people wouldn't complain about that or care as much. Like obviously it's like a premium Airbnb and it's like in a nice place in like LA and we're gonna be there for 3 weeks and whatever. It's kind of like a vacation, in a way. And so like I still think people on average would probably complain. They'd be like, why are there fucking stains everywhere? But even then, I could see people not caring because they're like, hey, whatever. It's in LA, whatever. But anyway, but then also in terms of the modernist, like if you saw the pictures of all this stuff, it was like ridiculous. Like the thermostat was ridiculous. Like all the outlets like had like dirt like in them and like looked ridiculous. It looked like the house was like built in like it was like a really old house, which again is fine. I'm sure most people don't care about that. But if you're not advertising as that, if you're advertising it as like more modern looking, and you're like photoshopping the pictures to look better, removing like cracks and holes in the wall, removing like stains, okay, just don't do that. Like it's fine. If we had like seen it with all the stains and stuff, like the odds are we just wouldn't have booked, and you never would have went through that. Um, but we took anyways, like George was like we were like dying of laughter, and like while they were like saying like it was just their reply, because originally they were like, well, didn't you see, like we put everything in the descriptions, we said there was like carpets. I was like, yeah, and the description on the Airbnb literally said, please take your shoes off when you enter the house to not get the expensive carpets dirty. That's like word for word. And then the carpets just have stains all over them and like look disgusting. And we're like, okay, what do you mean? Did we read the description? Yeah, we did. It made it out to be like someone like ridiculously like high class, like please take your shoes off. Um, but anyway, yes, like George took a picture, like in Snapchat. I think it was like I don't remember who it was to. It was like I don't think he ever Snapchat anyone, but he took a picture. It's really just him in front of the thermostat doing a thumbs up, and it was like I'm gonna change the temperature or something, and it was just so funny. And then he took another one, and it was like in front of the outlet, and it said like I'm gonna plug my phone in, and it was just the outlet was like all broken. Like and then I took a picture on the couch and the caption was like we're staying the night or something and sent that to them. And then like I don't remember. George just kept taking like these series of pictures where he was like smiling next to like the stupid shit. Like next to stuff that just like looked like, like gross. And it was just funny. It was funny. We were very much dying. Um and then like I took a video that I sent to them as well. That was just like George like um it was like George had like one of the pillows. It was like shaped like a penis, and he was like, yeah, he was doing something with it that was very funny. And anyway, yeah, it was funny. I was like, it was so funny. I was like dying. And then as we were leaving, like in the Uber, the police like drove by, and we both like looked back and we're like, was that to ours? Oh my god! Like I wish we stayed. But anyway, that is pretty much what happened. So it was a funny experience. Um. duh, duh, duh. Context for this. That is a photo of me, and I am wearing a suit jacket, and there is a link that you should click that is currently in the bio of this account, actually. A clickable link that you should attach your Apple Music or Spotify to for some reason. Uh, explain this, bro. That is a picture of a film set for a music video that may or may not be related to me. Could be, could not be. One or the other. My phone is dying so quickly. So quickly. Alright, fine, I'm gonna plug it in. Anyway. Yeah. Lots of exciting stuff. Lots of exciting stuff to come. I've been busier than I've ever been in my life, for sure. I've done so much more in the last like 5 months than I've done the rest of my entire life. Like in so much stuff. So much stuff. So much stuff. And luckily for you guys, I have held back, okay? Look, I took one for the team, okay? I always like prematurely announce things. I always prematurely say things. And with this, it's like really special to me. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want to say things when they're not, when like they're not confirmed, or say things whenever shit is not, close. I know I always do that. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that. And so I didn't. And so I could have been talking about some of the stuff I've been doing for like literally the last year or more. but I haven't until now. A little bit now. I've done a little bit now, because there is uh, exciting stuff happening, and I'm so excited to finally be able to share stuff with you soon. And you'll slowly start to see stuff that has been in the works for a very, very, very long time, which is so exciting. So I'm very excited. Excited is a music video. You in a suit. I need to know. I will. Yeah. And George and Nick. Ooh, spoilers. And also they have some behind the scenes stuff, which I'm sure they can post soon. I'm sure that as long as they don't spoil the premise of the video, they can post whatever they want, pretty much, of uh, some stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, so much exciting stuff. So much exciting stuff. I've spent literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not probably thousands of hours over the last year, working on stuff that you guys literally have not even seen anything from, and so it's so exciting to finally be, where I want to be, getting to do what I want to do. So bro just refreshed Twitter. Yeah, I did. But yeah, so you might want to click the link in the bio. The 3,800 of you watching. And if you don't have an account on one of the platforms, then make one. Because trust me, you want to be one of the first. There might be an opportunity for the first people to partake in that action. That's really exciting. I'm so excited. This is the thing is, again, I feel like now I pretty much can say anything I want, but I'm not going to with some stuff just 'cause I'm like, I've already waited this long. Might as well wait. Might as well, make you guys wait a little longer. But like I love writing. Like genuinely, this is one of those things where it's like with you whatever with YouTubers doing things outside of YouTube, with YouTubers doing things that isn't YouTube, or trying to use their platform to try and step into other realms. Like there's a big reason why I feel like that it generally doesn't work, and it's generally because it takes a lot of passion. Like I'm so passionate about YouTube, which is why I was able to do YouTube so well, and social media and stuff in general. It's because like the passion behind it. And like with writing, like I have wanted to be an author. Like my dream job was being an author. Like that was when I was a kid, I wanted to be an author. I wrote so much. I wrote two 75,000 word novels. I wrote like tons of poems. I wrote tons of like short stories. I wrote self inserts. I wrote like between the ages of like 13 and 19, I wrote like literally probably millions of words of like creative writing for whatever. And I've always that's been like my thing. And then even for like the Dream SMP, like okay, I've never really even talked about it. I wrote so much of the Dream SMP, so much. There's tons of shit no one had any idea that I have anything to do with. I wrote for so many characters. I wrote for so many people. I wrote for so many streams. So much of the story from the very beginning. Like I had fingerprints on, and being able to like collaborate, especially with people on the GSMP, was so much fun with writing stuff. Like especially Wilbur was fucking awesome to collaborate with. He's an incredible writer. Techno was a fucking incredible writer as well. He was amazing to collaborate with. Tommy as well, surprisingly. I say surprisingly, but surprisingly because Tommy's just fucking talented at so much shit. But collaborating with him on writing stuff as well. was amazing. Obviously, a lot of other people as well. Um, Bad had some awesome stuff. I don't want to name too many names because it's like I'm missing people, um, but anyway, even for like YouTube, like so many of my early videos, like you'd think I didn't do much writing on YouTube. Think again. I did the unsolved mysteries. What is that? That's storytelling. The video from beginning to end. I had to write scripts. I had to story tell. And then same thing for like even my cursed Minecraft videos. I scripted out like exactly what was going to happen, like in terms of how I would do this and like what was I going to show and had to code and stuff. There's so much like storytelling, and that's been a big part of my thing. And so being able to tell stories and stuff is a massive, massive thing I always want to do my entire life. And so being able to do that is amazing. And I kind of after the Dream SMP kind of was dwindling down more and stuff as well. I've had less of like a way to creatively express myself through writing. But then obviously with music, like I when I went in like with Road Trip, I didn't write much of Road Trip. I wrote the story, but in terms of like actually lyrically what goes into the song, it was like, hey, I went to Parker and I was like, hey, I want to make a song about this story. I want to make a song about, and this was genuinely what it was. It was like, hey, I had an ex girlfriend, and it was a long distance relationship for a while until it wasn't, and I had to drive 20 hours approximately. It wasn't quite 20 hours. That's a better rhyme, in order to see her. And then obviously things didn't go too well, whatever. And it was kind of like a I don't really miss you, but I miss the drive. I miss that road trip because I was like alone on the road and like I felt free, and it was like the anticipation of you're going to see somebody that you love, and like the the music and being able to listen to music on the way, and like the stick my head out the window and the breeze, like whatever. And I thought that was a really good story, and being able to tell that in being able to tell that in like a in a song was so cool. And so obviously in terms of the lyrics in the song, it was very much like I took that what I just said to Parker, said that exact thing pretty much to him, and was like, how can we make this into a song? I've literally never even sang in the shower. I don't have any experience singing. But I want to try. I'd love to try and tell the story creatively through music because it's not a story I would tell through not music, if that makes sense. Like it's not something that I would just go out and just talk about. It's like something that I'd be like, hey, I want to tell through music, and then maybe I'll talk about it afterwards or time has passed or whatever. But in the moment, it's not something that I would really talk about. And so being able to make music about it was cool. And so I went in. So that and then obviously there was Mask, and I never had any experience writing music. And I was like, I want to try and write like almost everything myself. And so that's what Mask was. Mask was like my first ever like actually like writing. Music. I don't know any of the rules, any of the laws. I don't know any. I've never had experience with actually putting stuff together. I tried to fit. It was more basic than a lot than what I would have wanted. Kind of going back now, because of the fact that I've never written before. I've never written music before. I've only written like poems and stuff. But that's like shorter form. But I've never written like music. And so I was like, I want to try and write everything myself, pretty much. And so I wrote like 90% of that song or something, and then even came up with like the melody of um, uh, but the fact is, like, I came up with that melody, and so it was like I contributed a lot more to that song. And then I also sat there during the production and blah 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 and whatever. And that was kind of my first step into like actually songwriting. And I had a lot of fun. Obviously, and then I did the song with Alec Benjamin, which was much more like mainstream in a way. Like it was like I got to work with like really really professional producers that had a lot of experience, and like there was like labels involved and stuff. So it was like I kind of got to actually get the music experience of like working in the music in the LA kind of music world. Um, but anyway, after those three songs, I kind of got a taste of it all, and I was like, you know what? Um, I actually really do enjoy making music, and I feel like it's an amazing way to tell stories, an amazing way to do things. And you'd think that, oh well, now it's been 2 years or whatever since, or almost 2 years since like my last song, and that that you wouldn't have thought that I had that thought after that, but I did. My last thought after making that was like, I really like making music. I really like writing. I really like telling stories, and I want to do it right, and I want to actually try and do it. So I've kind of silently been I kind of took the same approach I took with YouTube. It's like I've been silently like learning, I guess. Like I've talked to tons. I've already talked to I don't want to say hundreds, but I've talked to tens and dozens of like of writers. I've talked to dozens of producers, dozens of like musicians and artists and singers and so on and so forth. And I've worked with, I've written for other people. Now I've written for myself, obviously, and stuff that's not out. And I've written for fun, just writing songs to get better and stuff. Um, you just learned so much about like about music in general. Especially writing, but also I've done some like vocal coaching and had a lot of stuff in terms of like singing and understanding how vocals work and how melodies work and understanding like how how songs work in general kind of and which is like so dumb, but it understanding like kind of how beats work, I guess, in a way makes you better at like a lot of things, like even like dancing or something, which sounds kind of stupid because I still suck at dancing. But at least I have like I have a better idea of like being able to dance or something because of the fact that I understand how it works. I don't know. But anyway, that all being said, I just love writing. I love writing, and I feel like you guys will be really excited to see like some of the stuff I've been working on because it really it means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited to write. And I've been writing so much, uh, just for fun and for myself, and learning so much. And I love to, whenever I do something, I want to be good at it, and I want to be able to have fun with it while also being good and putting out good stuff. And so, um, yeah, I'm excited. And there's so much more. And this is a very like I'm in like a private space on my private account, so this is a very like whatever way to just talk about this, but it is exciting, and I'm excited to actually kind of officially be doing some cool stuff soon. And so I'll probably, you know, more officially talk about stuff like this soon on like a live stream or elsewhere as well, which will be cool. But yeah, in the coming, I said there'll be a lot more talk like this in the like a week or so from now. Not because something's coming out, because nothing's coming out in a week, but something's coming out soon, but not that. Not what you're thinking, but some cool stuff. But yeah, you should click the link in my bio, and you know, cool. Anyway, uh, cool. Love you guys. I will see you soon. Um, really appreciate you guys, and can't wait to share with you guys um what I've been up to and um you know everything that's been going on in my life, and share with you my life. And yeah, like I said, I've been working myself harder than I ever have, and it's only gonna be more because next, like literally starting like very soon, I'm going to be so busy. I think my next break I'll have of anything will be at like the end of September. Like from like the end of this month, the very beginning of next month to the end of September, there will be so much content for you guys. It's You guys will not even like this is like I said, I've waited a while to say anything, but it will be crazy. It will actually be crazy. And I am so excited. And obviously my goals are different than like what's definitely gonna happen, but like what I know is definitely gonna happen is just like crazy. Like even just talking about like the events and stuff that are going on and videos and secret projects and like fucking just lots of stuff. So um I am so excited, and you guys should be too. So um thank you guys for being awesome. Love you guys. Bye. I'm gonna wait because it doesn't know people ended yet. Bye, 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 bye.